Hey, I'm Jason Fitzgerald, and welcome to episode 32 of Q&A with Coach. Today we're answering the question, how do I modify my training after I get injured? All right, hey everyone, welcome back to Q&A with Coach. Good to be back. Haven't done one of these in a little while. I'm honestly a little bit more focused on the podcast right now, but still super happy to dive into some of your questions today. And what we're talking about today is what kind of training changes you need to make when you're coming back from an injury. And whenever you're dealing with this kind of a situation, I think it's always helpful to first let's recognize whether or not we have a minor injury or a major injury. Now, a major injury is going to cause you to have to take, 2 weeks or maybe even more time off from running. And once you take that amount of time off from running, then you're experiencing some significant detraining effects. So your fitness level is eroding fairly quickly after about 10 to 14 days of no running. So because of that, we need to take a much more gradual and a much more strategic approach to your comeback than if you were just, say you missed 3 or 4 days off from running. So if you missed 2 or more weeks from running, you're essentially dealing with the injury that you need to heal, treat, and get healthy from, and also the effects of detraining. Now, for the purposes of this Q&A with Coach, let's deal with the minor injury. Let's say that you had to take anywhere from 3 to 7 days off from running. Now, in this scenario, it's a lot easier to come back from running than if you had to take a lot more time off. So the first thing that I like runners to do once they are taking some time off, they're treating their injury, how do we approach their training? What do we do with their mileage and their workouts when they start running again? And the first thing that I like to have runners do is to do a very short test run. Now, the purpose of this run is not to improve your fitness, to get in good shape at all. You're not going to do a long run or a workout by any means. You're simply going to do a short run, maybe 10 all the way up to 30 minutes, to see how your body feels, to see how it responds to running. And if you're healing, if that injury isn't a big problem anymore, then that run should go very well. If you don't experience any pain, if you don't have to change your running form because of your prior injury, if you start to feel better as the run goes on, then you're probably ready to take the next step. And so after a successful test run, what I like runners to do is take the next day off. We're not testing back-to-back runs just yet. So do that short test run, take the following day off, and then the next day you can do a more average distance run for you. Maybe that's 3 miles, maybe that's 5 miles. I'd say much more than about 5 miles maybe is a bad idea, because right now, again, this is still just a test run. 2 days later, after your test run, go out for another normal length run, maybe 3 to 5 miles, 3 to 6 miles, somewhere along there. And again, the goal here is not to do a workout, to get fast, anything like that. You're simply seeing how your body responds to running. So for both a test run and this first normal length run back after your injury, don't worry about pace. I don't want you to be looking at your Garmin at all. If you use a GPS watch, then great, turn it on, but then just turn it to time of day and forget about it until you're ready to be done with your run. Because the goal here is just to run for maybe 30 to 45 minutes and really see how your body does with that amount of running. All right, now that you've successfully tested a normal length run, now we can test something else. We can test back-to-back runs. So after you do a normal length run, then the following day, provided that was successful, you didn't experience any pain, anything like that, then the following day, what you can do is do another medium distance run. You can run a little bit less, a little bit more, but I wouldn't run significantly more. And the goal here is to get you running 2 days in a row. If you can run 2 days in a row, that's another successful test that you have now passed. And so now we get to the point where, okay, you can run a normal distance, you're not having any pain, you can run 2 days in a row, that's great. What else can you test? Now you see here, this testing mentality is very much at play. We're testing your body to see how it responds to different stresses. First it was the stress of running, then it was the stress of running a longer distance, then it was the stress of running 2 days in a row. Now we can test strides. Strides are fundamental, a type of exercise that I think all runners should be doing. They are accelerations where, they take about 20 seconds after an easy run. Now you do run very fast in a stride, but it's only for a very short period of time. So they really aren't too difficult. So what a stride does is it tests your body's ability to run fast. Not to run hard, but to run fast. Once you've successfully tested strides, then you're probably good to go. You're probably ready to resume normal training. You can run 2 days in a row, you can run normal distances, you can run fast. Now we can start testing longer distances, like a long run, and more challenging workouts that are going to test, the overall effort level of a particular session. So above all, when in doubt, sit it out. The last thing you want to do is to make your injury worse or to further exacerbate things so that you have to take more recovery time. It's much more beneficial for you to take an extra recovery day and not run at all than try to run and then have to take 3 days off afterward. So the cautious, gradual approach to coming back to running is ultimately a lot more effective in the long term. Now, of course, there's a lot more nuance to this. This is an oversimplified version of how you can modify your running after an injury. There's a lot more gray area and nuance to all of this. And of course, it depends on what type of injury you had. It depends on your history with all injuries and that particular injury, your current fitness level, and how close you are to your goal race. So if your marathon, for example, is in a week, that might change your treatment and how you deal with this week than if your marathon is in 12 weeks. So you can see how if you're training for a goal race, that is going to impact how you treat that injury and how aggressively or cautiously you come back to training. Hey, so if you've liked this kind of more hands-on help with your training questions, then one thing that you may not know that I do frequently are these types of live Q&As with Team Strength Running. And with the team, we sit down once or twice every single month, and it is a live video. I'm on just like here, except it's live, and I'm taking our members' questions. So if that's interesting to you, if you want to learn more about the team, we are going to open up pretty soon. So just head over to strengthrunning.com/TSR, and I'll include a link somewhere over here to that page, and you'll be the first to know when we open the doors to new members. Thanks again for watching Q&A with Coach. This is episode 32 or something like that. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.